Welcome to the BookEnds YouTube channel. For those who are new here, I'm Jessica Faust, president and founder of BookEnds. Normally I'm here with James McGowan, but we are still social distancing. Everybody is still working at home, so I'm doing some rogue videos all on my own during this time and having a blast doing it. Today I want to talk to you. I've done a number of videos in these uncertain times. I've done publishing in tough times, querying in tough times, how we're reading queries during these times. And to be honest, these videos aren't exclusive to just what we're going through now with social distancing and working from home and isolation. These videos could be also looked at during any tough times that the world goes through or that we have gone through in publishing. However, right now we're social distancing and that's what we're dealing with. So what I want to talk to you about today is what publishers are buying in tough times, which of course translates to what agents are looking to take on, and of course what writers are hoping to write. I'm seeing a lot on Twitter, usually is where I see things, about publishers, agents saying what they don't want or what they don't want to look for. And I'm seeing a lot of authors second guessing maybe what they're writing, what they have written, or what they should be writing. It's sort of also why I did the querying in tough times. I was seeing a lot of questions about should we even be querying? Publishers and agents, many of us are in the worst part of the pandemic. We're in the New York City metro area, and there was concern about a lack of sensitivity by querying during these times. You can watch that video to see more about what I said there. So let's talk about what publishers are buying and what we should be writing. I think the biggest thing that's going to come up are pandemic books. I've seen people say, don't send me a pandemic book. Absolutely not. I'm not quite as black and white. That's something you'll find not just in my YouTube, but also in my blog posts. The world is not black and white. I am not black and white. I think there's always a gray area to these things. I think that if you've written a speculative fiction pandemic book that talks about a virus coming in and wiping out the world, it might be a tough sell. But if you've taken a different spin on things, if you've presented it from a different angle, I think there's real possibility there. So I would not absolutely say no pandemic books. I think there's probably a certain type. I also think it's important to note that just because one agent or one editor says they do or don't want something doesn't mean that everybody else feels the same way. We're readers too. If you say to your best friend, I would love to read a pandemic book right now, your best friend might go, oh, no way. I never want to read a pandemic book. That doesn't mean that one of you is right and one of you is wrong. And that doesn't mean that one of you has defined the market in a way that the other one is missing. It could just mean that you are presenting two different markets. And that's what happens with agents and editors. So I personally see a certain type of pandemic book as a great opportunity. And I'm not alone in this because I've seen and talked with other agents and editors who feel the same way. And really it's a different spin on what we would normally expect. So, you know, there's been a lot of talk about potential romance coming out of this. I had this thought of two single people quarantined alone in their apartments, but maybe next door to each other. It could be a very interesting romance. There's been a lot of talk about the romance of Italians going out on their balconies and things like that. I think that those could be an interesting spin on the times we are in. I think something predictable is not. I think that a lot is going to come out of these times in nonfiction. We will probably see stories from the people who are on the front lines, but let's face it, we are not going back to normal after this, whatever you might have defined normal as. The world has changed, and a lot is going to change with it. A lot of the way we operate on a day-to-day basis, the way we work, the way we live, the way we school. All of that is going to change. There are books there. There are books in there somewhere. We always say, don't write to the market, which means don't look and say, vampire books are hot right now, which they're not necessarily. So everybody should be writing a vampire book. Every publishing professional will tell you, don't do that. The problem with that is, what is today's market may not be the same market in 6 months to a year when you finish that book. So my number one piece of advice in how to write, what to write, and what publishers are buying in tough times is write what you write and write it well. If you write light, humorous fiction, stick with that. There are certainly people right now, that's all they want to read. If you write dark fiction, don't assume that because we're living in dark times, nobody wants to read that. I'm a reader of dark books. I represent dark books. Not all of them, but a lot. That hasn't changed. Yes, I'm picking up some lighter books from time to time, but I am reading close to 10 books a month since this started. And it is a perfect combination of light and dark. It is commercial, it is upmarket, it is the same sort of reading list I've always had. It hasn't changed. Editors aren't suddenly changing up the types of books that they personally buy because of the times. If they are editors of dark mysteries, let's say, they are likely still looking for dark mysteries. That's what they do. That's what they read. Most importantly, that's what they edit. That's their list. So that's not going to change. There are still going to be readers for your work. There might be a part of you that's in the middle of your book and suddenly feels it's not the right book anymore because of the times. It's fine too. Switch it up. Switch it up. So what I would say in these times is there might be certain editors who will say, and agents, who will say, I'm not doing that type of thing right now, or I can't do that type of thing. And that's fine. But that one person doesn't speak for all of us. I don't speak for all of us. I just speak in general for me, from my knowledge and from what I'm seeing and hearing from other people. But publishers are buying. They're buying nonfiction. They're buying fiction. They're buying dark books. They're buying funny books. We have sold the same types of books during this time as we have sold 6 months ago. That hasn't changed. Editors are requesting the books. They're wanting to read them. They are responding to our submissions. They are responding to the dark books and the light books. And they're looking at the market in a lot of ways the same way they always have. They're looking at certain genres and saying, it's kind of crowded right now, so we're not buying a lot of this. That hasn't changed because the truth is the market is what the market is, and readers are still buying and reading. So when it comes to writing during tough times and what publishers are buying, the truth is it really hasn't changed. Keep writing the kind of books that you're best at writing and that you enjoy and that are you. And there will be a market for them. Also keep in mind that if you're in the middle of writing your book, 3 months from now when you're ready to query, 6 months from now when you're ready to query, we're going to be in a different world. Who knows what that will be? We can't predict it. So don't try to. Just write what you write and write it well. I've said that about 14 times now. Anyway, I hope I was helpful. James and I will be doing more Zoom videos soon. I'm excited for that. And in the meantime, like the video if you liked it. I hope you did. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos or, of course, any that I do with James. And keep writing and hang in there and stay well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.